one ticket? How will you keep student groups, cost centers, club sports, and other organizations run by student fee dollars accountable? How will you, as UCSU execs, keep UCSU proper, transparent, and accountable as well?
Regarding cost centers and club sports, I wanted to say that currently I am in 2 club sports, the swim team and the triathlon team. Last season I did hold offices in both of those. I was the sponsorship coordinator for the triathlon team, and last season I was the men's captain for the swim team, as well as working in the UMC day in and day out. So when it comes to those issues on campus, no one has more experience knowing about those things than we do on the one ticket.
One of the things I want to say is that I think that currently the system that we have works. Our cost centers are accountable. Our student groups are accountable. Our club sports are accountable. And one of the ways that we can prove that is that we were just audited by the Board of Regents, and it came back that, lo and behold, we actually know how to manage money as students. So I think that we certainly want to support the current system that we're in right now. But we also need to continue funding and using organizations like the Student Group Funding Board, which ensures that student groups are held accountable for the money that they spend and are doing it responsibly. At the same time, we need to continue funding our cost centers, continue funding our student groups, and do it to a greater degree, with fiscal responsibility, of course, I think always in mind, because, you know, as we said earlier, I mean, your tuition is going up. We don't want to jack up your student fees any more than they are right now. In fact, they're you know, too high. You're paying $400 for a capital construction fee to fund a law building and a business building. These are great buildings, and we needed them. But that funding needed to come from somewhere else, and that was the state. So when all is said and done, I think that we are accountable as UCSU, and we need to continue that. And that goes back to the autonomy situation too. Thanks.
Well, I think we all know the importance of every dollar at this university. I think we're, in some facets of this university, we're stretched thin, and I believe there is we need to prioritize. That's exactly what we need to do. There needs to be a restructuring of the financial system, because as it goes right now, I believe that there's certain groups in this university that have way too much funding versus other groups that get cut every year. Like depending on the situation, I believe that the cost centers are doing a pretty good job now, but I think that we need to prioritize in terms of restructuring, consolidating groups that have the same interests. I think there's money that is just overhead that we need to basically slash, and I think that financially, I think that's the accountability. That's where it comes in. On top of creating the open house meetings for the executives, I think that it should be a comfortable environment where you can talk about where your money really actually is going, question to question, like not FAQs online, a person telling you exactly what it is.
Kind of just reiterating what Pierce said, I feel like we've done a really good job on our ticket of making sure that we're representing all these different facets of CU. And not only have we chosen people who represent those different facets, they're passionately involved in those different facets of CU. And I feel like with passion and with dedication to these different areas comes a lot of ownership, and I think that ownership leads to accountability. So we have a lot of people on our ticket that are already passionately involved, and I think that they have a dedication to these different groups, and I think that when you're dedicated, you want to maintain a certain amount of accountability, and that's key. So
I think one of the important things to state is that the drive ticket has continually been involved in all of these not only cost centers, but student groups. And I think the student groups piece is very important because we have over 900 student groups on this campus now, which has grown last year from 700. And we want to protect funding for them, but at the same time, we want to increase co-sponsored events. Co-sponsored events allow for more successful events, greater turnout, and greater collaboration of our community between groups that wouldn't have otherwise come together to bridge gaps on this campus. When it comes down to the fiscal responsibility, going back to that audit, we have been doing a great job as UCSU historically of being accountable for what we are doing, and students have always had a voice, and we need to maintain that voice and push forward and make sure that all the students have an active representation for where to put their dollars, where their mouth is. And so it'll be through our voices that we will do that for them.
As far as transparency goes, a recent article quoted by the Colorado Daily, I believe, said that a tri-exec said that, I guess in regards to this recent fee increase for student fees and everything, that he thinks it's going to utilities and insurance costs. A quote from a tri-exec in regards to a raise in student fees needs to say exactly where your student fees are going, where these increases are going. And I think that that definitely needs to be changed as far as we need to make sure that whenever we're going to increase student fees, it needs to be an itemized receipt almost as far as where these monies are going.